just a quick post soak. Let me see if I can show you. You can kind of see, it's rainy. It's rainy, but I'm in the most beautiful Japanese soaking tub garden. And I just did a nice soak. Shout out to Erin. Thank you so much. Erin gave me a gift card to come here and soak. She could feel I needed to ground and digest. And that's what I wanted to just give a little transmission on. So first of all, just if you've needed to ground and relax, just taking a few breaths with me here. I literally feel like a different person than before and after. So I just want to transmit that for you, that you find some space to cleanse and to release and to relax, and that someone in your life can encourage that for you as well. You can let yourself receive. And this weekend was really like a grounding weekend. I got that feedback from a lot of people, like, okay, you moved here, now it's time to really ground. And I, set up my apartment, got a lot of root vegetables at the farmer's market, and sat with my book. It's been really amazing to hear from so many people who are reading the book. And I realized, I haven't read that final one as just a book. So I had coffee in my garden. I read the book for a while. And last night I swear there's a reason I'm sharing all of this. I'm just very relaxed. Last night I was with my dear friend Mel, and we met when we were neighbors in Venice. So she was the upstairs of the house. Oh no, I was the upstairs of the house. She was the downstairs. And that was a very pivotal time. Living in Venice is where the book starts, and it's where we all got sick from mold. I had so many adventures and crazy experiences in LA, and then it sort of ended. The day Mel was moving out, her and her brother were moving out, was the day my brother passed away. And so we both ended up leaving in this intense way. Her obviously in a bit of a different way, but we've just had this deep connection, and we've stayed good friends. And I feel like the friendship has continued to deepen since moving out of our place in Venice in 2019, when we both travel a lot. We've gotten to spend a lot of time together in different locations. So she was in Asheville, and so she has a lot of family here. So last night we went to see this band, Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners, which I really recommend. Just incredible songwriters, beautiful, wall of sound, immersive music, and they're young. They're in their 20s, and you've probably heard their song Evergreen, and it's so beautiful. And they were 17 when they recorded that. And when we were there last night, that was actually, the band was sort of speaking to how incredible the last 9 years have been for them. And that, that 9 years ago, they were recording that song in a bedroom in high school. And now they have this career where they travel the world with this music. And, just encouraging people, when you feel something, feel it all the way and bring it out and put it out into the world and see what happens. And I thought that was so beautiful. And Mel and I were also realizing that it was exactly 9 years ago, yesterday, that I moved into that apartment, and that we really connected. And that was the weekend I really grounded in the apartment. And, it's interesting because we're in this 9 year, and I, as you know, I do this a lot with my clients. I track the threads. It's what's going on? What are you noticing? So for me, it's been the grounding, and then realizing I'm having this great intersection of 9 years, and it's the end of a 9 year. And then this morning I was doing my love letters from the Akasha for my clients, and that is every Monday. Anyone who's going to have a session with me, I tune in and I open the records and I write a love letter, and I create lots of customized frequency images with a graphic design program. And that's my Monday mornings. And I dipped into my records, and I really heard what you need to do before you go to the spa is you need to really think about where you were 5 years ago. And when I think about 5 years ago, I was in a sublet in Chicago exactly 5 years ago this time. It was the thick of COVID, as you remember. It was right before the last election. And I was just basically there because I was just so sad, so grieving, so unhappy. I was just trying to be somewhere that I had good memories. So I got this sublet, even though it was during COVID, so I didn't see too many people, obviously, but I just needed to be somewhere where the streets had good memories for me. And I kind of was shocked when I thought about it, because it was like, wow, 5 years ago, I still hadn't totally found out how sick the mold. I was waiting for the labs at that time. We hadn't gotten through the lawsuit yet. I was right at the point where we were going to start doing the deposition. Oh my God, it's funny you're here, Lauren. Because I was talking about today, I was thinking about 5 years ago today, what was happening. And actually, you visited during that time period when I was in Chicago. And I really felt guided by the Akashic Records to just sit and write down some of what has happened in the last 5 years. And it really stunned me. And I realized like how many different chapters there's been. I finished the lawsuit. I ended up in St. Pete for a couple years. I got into shuffleboard. I found someone to support me with the book. I wrote the book. I moved back to New York. I helped my mom move. I got her to Florida. I don't know. This is just my personal story. But, there's things where I'm wishing certain things had happened already, or I'm wishing for certain things to come to pass in my life. And I really blew my own mind when I thought about 5 years ago today. Like, wow, there's been a lifetime since then. And I bet there has been for you too. And certainly when we think about 9 years ago, I had the opportunity to be with someone who I was with 9 years ago today. And, double the mind blowing. And so I just wanted to share that. And then I was here and I was in this tub, and I realized I was here to just clear and digest, and it's pouring rain. It's really amazing. I was like in this hot tub surrounded by all the autumn trees and listening to the rain and just letting go of the last 9 years, letting go of anything needing to be different, letting go of any idea of anything having to be different, and just going into a deep release. And I wanted to share that because we're really in the last couple months, and I would say we're really today in the last month where you're going to have time for yourself to really go deep into this. Once we're in December, we all know it's maybe you go to a New Year's thing or a workshop, right? But like, we all know where we're headed, and where we're headed is preparing ourselves to be around a lot of people and to be ready to start like dealing with family or start sharing how your year has been. And how can you share how your year has been if you yourself haven't gotten that opportunity to actually be with this year, and not just this year, but be with 5 years ago today when we were in such a different place together as a society, right? Or 9 years ago when we started this cycle. I just want to really encourage you. I feel so different. I didn't even know I needed to do this. I feel before and after vibes in this moment. I know I also was in a Japanese soaking tub having tea by myself, and let's factor that in. But I truly, it was another thread. Having this experience and being given this experience was another thread of the overall energy of this week, which is about starting to really celebrate, commend yourself, really digest and feel what this year has been, what the last 5 years have been, what the last 9 years have been, so that we are ready to go into this 1 year. We don't want to come into it like stumbling in, rubbing our eyes, right? Like, this was a huge 9 years for all of us, right? Because 9 years ago, that was like the first Trump election was about to happen. 5 years ago was the whole Biden, election was happening. So like, it's been huge energetically. COVID, everything, so much has happened. And so I just wanted to encourage you to give yourself that gift, to take some time to really process this year, the last 5 years, the last 9 years, and like really what you've accomplished. I think it's probably a lot more than you're giving yourself credit for if you take some time to feel. And this is really the number one tool we want to have in our in our wheelhouse is knowing how to digest and process things, which is why people are still living from a reference point of something that happened a year ago, 5, 9, 45 years ago, other lifetimes, because it's tough. It's hard. If you don't take the time to drop in and digest and process, you end up like living with these things inside of you and don't even realize what you've done and created and how much you have to be proud of. And so if you haven't thought of it yet, I'm proud of you. I'm sure you've done some incredible work in this last year, 5 years, 9 years. I'm sure of it. And I'm very clear that this is what the 11/11 opening ceremony for Dark Times Catering is going to be about. The book actually, is tracing this cycle, and it was about creating something out of this cycle and now moving forward into the next cycle. And I would love to invite you to join me for that. We're going to celebrate that, and we're also going to get everyone into that energy for your own life and your own cycle and your own creation. So if you know it's your time to digest and process and actually receive, and you also want to create some art out of the last 9 years, create something that feels powerful and like useful to yourself and others, and positive and prosperous for yourself and others, then send me a message. But I'm going to share more about that at 11/11. But feel free to send me a message. That is what I do with others and with myself. But that's it. Let's just drop in before I leave this place. Ooh, that does look nice now. Just taking a few breaths for yourself here, letting yourself breathe in this fresh air, these trees that are holding so many stories, this rain that is cleansing and clearing. And just letting yourself come into your own life here for a moment, wherever you want to feel it. Where were you a year ago? 5 years ago, 9 years ago? Those are the points I was guided to, but just let yourself take a moment. Letting something go from 5 years ago. And letting something go from 9 years ago. And letting something go from this year. Letting the rain cleanse you. And if you were to celebrate just how much you've done without comparison, without criticism, without leaving your body and being in a story, but actually come back into who you are today, in this moment, because of the journeys you've been taking for these last years. If you could really receive that, what's something you could receive about who you are and how far you've come? Let yourself breathe that in. And let's just sit here for a moment in reflection. Feeling your incredible strength and resilience and heart that you've cultivated over the last 9-year cycle. Taking a moment to really be proud of how far you've come when you track back through the last years of this cycle. And we know that if there's something to clear, we've just cleared it. And if there was something to receive, we've just received it. Yeah, thanks for joining me. I think this is really the theme of the week. Track back. Take a journal. Take a pen. Let yourself take a minute and really see and feel and remember what you've done, what you've created, who you've been, what you've traversed. If it was 5 years ago today that you were thinking about what's happened since, or 9 years ago, what's happened during this cycle, you have so much to be proud of, and there's so much rich material for you to create with. And so I'd love to talk to you more about it. 11/11 is the opening ceremony for Dark Times Catering. It's complimentary. If you haven't gotten the book yet, that's okay too. If you have any questions about any of that, you can send me a message. And we're going to move forward into this one cycle, really digested into this new cycle in 2026, processed, digested, proud of ourselves, creative, ready to create art out of this life, and to realize that we are in that process right now. So sending a lot of love to everyone who's on here. I am also thinking a lot of Jamaica. I know we are like holding a field of something that's about to happen there. So if you are there or know people who are, my heart is with you. And my heart is with that land. Okay. Talk soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.